all have a someday in our minds. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll get in the best shape of my life. Someday I'll finally be the person I know I can be. But for most people, someday is a graveyard where dreams go to die. The biggest problem we face today isn't a lack of opportunity. It's a lack of discipline. We are a generation drowning in distraction. We seek the hack, the shortcut, and the easy win. We want the result without the resistance. Most people are paralyzed by two things: the fear of being seen starting small and the addiction to comfort. We stay in jobs we hate because they are safe. We stay in habits that drain us because they are familiar. We look at successful people and tell ourselves they were lucky or gifted, because if we admit they simply worked harder than us, we have to face our own reflection. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without it, your potential is just a flickering candle in a hurricane. Today, we study a man who didn't just build a body. He built a reality out of thin air through the sheer force of his will. We look at the Austrian oak, Arnold Schwarzenegger. To understand Arnold's discipline, you have to understand the environment that forged it. Arnold wasn't born a superstar. He was born in 1947 in Thal, Austria, a small village where life was predictable and narrow. Post-war Austria was a place of rigid order. His home had no running water, no phone, and no luxury. His father was a strict police chief who wanted Arnold to be a soccer player or a soldier, to follow the path already paved. Arnold's father believed in earning breakfast through exercise. From the age of 10, Arnold was performing sit-ups just to be allowed to eat. By 14, he had a lightning bolt moment. He walked into a local gym and saw the local bodybuilders. While other kids had posters of pop stars, Arnold's bedroom walls were covered in muscular men rubbed in oil. His mother, Aurelia, actually called a doctor, worried her son was mentally ill. The doctor looked at the posters, looked at Arnold, and said, "He's not sick. He's just obsessed." He didn't just see just a bodybuilders on that poster. He saw a blueprint. My confidence came from my vision. I am a big believer that if you have a very clear vision of where you want to go, then the rest is easy. Discipline started with a choice. While his friends were at the lake or chasing girls, Arnold was in a cold gym, lifting weights for 5 hours a day. In 1965, Arnold turned 18 and began his mandatory service in the Austrian army. This is where the legend of his discipline truly begins. He was a tank driver, but his mind was on the Junior Mr. Europe contest in Stuttgart, Germany. He was forbidden from leaving the base. In the dead of night, he climbed over the barracks wall. He hopped a freight train, shivering in the cold, with no food and only his posing trunks in a bag. He arrived in Stuttgart, competed against men years older than him, and won. When he returned to the base, he was caught. He spent 7 days in a military cell. But here is the key. He didn't care. He had the trophy. He realized then that the price of greatness is often a period of isolation. While his fellow soldiers were sleeping, Arnold was doing push-ups on the cold stone floor of his cell. By the time he left the army, he wasn't just a tank driver. He was the strongest teenager in Europe. Arnold's life followed a strict chronological logic. Build the body, then build the brand, then build the legacy. 1. The London Bridge, 1966 to 1968. Arnold moved to London with almost no money to train with Wag Bennett. He was so poor he slept on a cot in the gym. He won his first Mr. Universe title at age 20, becoming the youngest ever. But he realized that if he stayed in Europe, he would just be a big fish in a small pond. He needed the mecca of bodybuilding, Gold's Gym in Venice Beach, California. 2. The American Purgatory, 1968 to 1975. Joe Weider brought him to America in 1968. He spoke little English. He had no money. After arriving, he immediately lost his first American contest to Frank Zane, who was much smaller but more defined. Arnold cried that night, but the next morning, he was at the gym at 5 a.m. He realized he couldn't just be big. He had to be perfect. Between 1970 and 1975, he went on a tear that changed the sport forever. He won 7 Mr. Olympia titles. He wasn't just lifting weights. He was using psychological warfare on his opponents, telling them they looked tired or small right before they walked on stage. He understood that discipline is 10% physical and 90% mental. 3. The Cinematic Wall, 1976 to 1982. After retiring from bodybuilding in 1975, he faced his hardest decade. Hollywood was in the era of the small, intellectual actor, guys like Dustin Hoffman and Al Pacino. Producers told Arnold he was a monster who would only ever get roles as a circus freak or a Nazi. When Arnold said he wanted to be a leading man in Hollywood, agents laughed. They said, "Your body is too big, your name is too long, and your accent is too thick." He didn't listen. He took acting classes, accent removal classes, and worked on his craft with the same intensity he used for his biceps. He knew that repetition is the mother of skill. He turned his weaknesses into his greatest assets. For 5 years, he lived on his savings from a bricklaying business he started with fellow bodybuilder Franco Columbu. He stayed disciplined, refusing garbage roles. He waited. In 1982, Conan the Barbarian became a hit. In 1984, The Terminator changed the world. He proved that if you stay at the table long enough, the deck eventually turns in your favor. 4. The Governorship, 2003 to 2011. By the late 90s, Arnold was the biggest star on earth, but he was bored. He wanted a new mountain. In 2003, during a chaotic recall election, he announced his candidacy for governor of California on The Tonight Show. He applied the set and rep philosophy to politics. He would read policy briefings until 2 a.m., the same way he used to do squats until he collapsed. He served 2 terms, proving that a man from a village with no plumbing could lead the most technologically advanced state in America. He didn't do it through politics. He did it through the discipline of the self-made path. If you want to walk the same path, you must live by Arnold's core principles. 1. Trust yourself. Don't listen to the naysayers. If Arnold had listened to the experts, he would still be in Austria hauling hay. 2. Break the rules, not the law, but the social rules. Don't be afraid to be the only person in the room doing what you do. 3. Don't be afraid to fail. Arnold lost competitions. He had movies that flopped. He said, "You can't be paralyzed by fear of failure, or you will never push yourself." 4. Ignore the naysayers. For every person who says it can't be done, find the "it will be done" inside you. 5. Work your butt off. This is the most important rule. Arnold famously said, "You can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pockets." While you are out partying, someone else is working. While you are sleeping, someone else is winning. 6. Give something back. Success isn't a destination. It's a platform to help others. The life of Arnold Schwarzenegger is proof that you are not a prisoner of your circumstances. You are not defined by your accent, your origin, or your current bank balance. You are defined by your vision and your work. Most people fail because they wait for motivation. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. Discipline is a contract. It's the decision to show up when you're tired, when it's raining, and when nobody is clapping. Look at your own life right now. What is your Austria? What is the small, predictable place you are stuck in? And more importantly, what is your Mr. Olympia? What is that huge, terrifying dream that makes your heart beat faster? Stop looking for the easy way. The easy way leads to a mediocre life. Embrace the struggle. Embrace the pump of the resistance. As Arnold said, strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develop your strengths. When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength. The world doesn't owe you a path. You have to cut it yourself, out of the jungle of your own fears. Start today, not tomorrow, not someday. Today, go to work, stay hungry, and never, ever give up.